Easter themed candy apples will be shown in this candy apple tutorial. This is Candy Apple TV. I am your host and founder, DIY Queen Diva. First, you want to insert your wooden sticks and your straws, which can both be found in my Amazon bake shop in the description box down below. This is Talos powder. I always use this when I am working with fondant or cornstarch. This prevents the fondant from being too sticky. I have already dyed my fondant purple and pink. Now I am going to make my Easter baskets with this silicone mold, which can also be found down in my Amazon bake shop. I am placing the fondant over the silicone mold. Now I am using my fondant roller to roll the fondant. This will ensure the print that I am trying to make on my fondant. So I am using my fondant roller, making sure I get the print on my fondant. I pull the fondant off, and this is the print that I want to achieve. This is another silicone mold that I will use for the Easter basket handle. So once I place all the fondant in, I just press down, and I use Talos powder just in case the fondant gets too sticky. I also use this silicone mold for another part of the basket. And I just repeat the process. I just press the fondant down in the silicone mold. I use Talos powder if it gets too sticky, and I pop it right out. This will be used as buttons. This came as a set. Again, this whole entire set is found down below in my Amazon bake shop. I will make 2 buttons to place on each side of the Easter basket candy apple. So this is a fondant tool that I am using to press down the fondant to ensure the print is on the fondant. So I pop it out, it looks like a button. This is my silicone mold for my bunny face. This silicone mold can also be found down in the description box down below. I put my fondant inside the silicone mold, I press down, and I pop it out. And this is what it looks like. This floral silicone mold can also be found in my Amazon bake shop in the description box down below. I place my fondant inside the mold, I press down, I use Talos powder when needed. When you're using any type of silicone mold for your candy apples to make designs, you want to make sure you always stay in the inside of the lines. This ensures your print will come out the way you want it to come out. If you're not good with fondant, you can also place your silicone mold in the freezer after you put the fondant in to freeze the fondant so they can pop out like this. That's if you're having a hard time with the fondant. Just place it in the freezer and they will pop out as well. This is my silicone mold for my Easter eggs. This silicone mold can also be found down in the description box below. I am placing the fondant inside the silicone mold to make my Easter egg designs. Turn the silicone mold over and they pop right out. Again, if you have any issues with fondant or working with fondant, just place these in the freezer for about 2 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes, and they'll pop out. So I thought about using some cake paint, cake paint that you use on cakes, to color my Easter eggs and my bunny face. But at the end of the day, I'm going to make this easy. I am just going to use the luster dust gold, and I am adding lemon extract. And I am just going to put a little gold on both the bunny face and the Easter eggs. This just simplifies everything. Okay, my candy has reached 300 degrees. I used 641 candy apple recipe. I added my Wilton's White. I added my flavoring at 280 degrees. This is soft pink. I am using 1 drop of soft pink. I want these candy apples to be a very light pink color. So I am making sure I get that color. That's why I didn't add all of my color at the beginning. One thing about 641 candy apple recipe, whether you are dipping 12 apples or 24 apples, you will get your apples covered. I know at the beginning, as a beginner, I had a hard time getting 12 candy apples covered. So whether you have small, medium, large apples, you will get 12 candy apples covered using the 641 candy apple recipe, hands down, with a perfect crunch. This is the perfect candy apple recipe for anyone or any beginner just learning how to make candy apples. This is a perfect candy apple recipe to make 12 small, medium, large apples. It doesn't matter what size your apples are, you will get a minimum of 12 apples dipped. I usually get up to 24 using small apples. This is what worked for me, and hopefully it will work for you. I got so sick and tired of using 2 or 3 pots to make 12 candy apples. As a beginner, I was using 2 pots, at least 2 pots, to make 12 candy apples. It was just ridiculous. I didn't want to use that much sugar, so 6 cups of sugar was the maximum that I was going to use, because using 8 to 10 cups of sugar, that's just way too much sugar to make 12 candy apples. Of course, I cannot please everyone, but if you have enjoyed this 641 candy apple recipe, just let me know down in the comment section below how this candy apple recipe worked wonders for you, especially when you had big orders to dip candy apples for. These are beautiful pink candy apples. I love this pink color for candy apples. Look. Let's get these Easter basket candy apples ready. I am placing my fondant on my candy apple to make my Easter basket, and I am going to use this print 3 times to wrap around the candy apple. So you're going to need 2 to 3 prints according to how big your candy apples are, and these are some big candy apples that I have. So I will need 3 squares, and this fondant just sticks on. If you need help on coloring your fondant, I'll put that down in the description box below. I do have a tutorial on that. Make sure that you have gloves on or you're going to dye your fingers. And I had just opened up the soft pink gel food coloring, and that pink gel food coloring dyed my fingertips. Okay, so these will be used for the lining of the basket. And now I am attaching the handle, and the product that I am using is Wilton's Dab and Hold Edible Adhesive. This is made by Wilton's, and I'll put this also down in the description box. I am attaching the handle on the basket, so you just attach it and you can let it rest against the wooden stick and straw, and it'll firm up on its own. I am adding the buttons on each side and using the adhesive glue, edible adhesive glue. Now, I wanted some grass, so I am using this product here for my edible grass. Okay, I'm trying to see something here. I don't know if I am going to attach this fondant bow or a real bow. I am just trying to be creative. If you have enjoyed this candy apple tutorial, make sure you watch my next videos coming right up, right here on Candy Apple TV. I'll see you in a few seconds in my next video.